This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
It's 8 minutes past the hour here with traffic. Whippy Goosenip.
Oh, hi there, Stu. We're up in the traffic chopper, and can I just say, it is absolutely delightful out there today. I don't know what people are doing, but they're not on the roads. God help me, I hope they're locked up tight at home and making babies, because that is what our Lord Emperor Trump wants. Lots of babies.
Way to pick up the Whippy Goosenip. Last week or the week before, one of the two, I created a fake traffic character called Whippy Goosenip, and that's based on getting bombarded with lots of Australian radio stuff. The way my algorithm works, it's very strange. There's tons of Australian stuff now that I know you, and then I just decided that an Australian traffic reporter would be named Whippy Goosenip, and you started to do it, but there was just a little bit of a hesitation, and I think I interrupted you, and I was hoping you would bring back the Whippy Goosenip character, and here we are.
I was not expecting that, but here we go.
Like there's this radio show, here it is, I found it in my thing. There is an Australian radio show called Fitzy and Whippa.
Oh, Fitzy and Whippa!
Oh,
I love Fitzy and Whippa!
Fucking Fitzy and Whippa.
Legends.
They're incredible.
So good.
It just sounds so Australian, and one of the things I make fun of is I make fun of things, so...
Oh, they're great.
All right. I'll check out Fitzy and Whippa. Fitz and...
Yeah,
do they call each other
they're a
Fitz
good
and
time.
Whip? Well, Fitz, let me tell you. Listen up, Whip. Anyway. The good news is I've started drinking again. I've got that going for me. For so long, it seemed like the best idea not to drink. And now I've discovered that some occasional drinking, maybe once a week, it feels very therapeutic. Like I actually felt better the day after I had a drink the night before for some reason. And I think there might be something chemically in the alcohol that every once in a while might be okay. And the problem I was having before, where if I had a drink, I would just not sleep for days when I would try to go to bed, I found that if I'm biking daily and exercising, I can sleep okay at night. So now I have the health to offset the alcohol, and I might just be a fit alcoholic. I might look at that going into 2025. This is the thing that we have to look at. They say that drinking is not the answer. I say it depends on the question.
Listeners, witness the fitness. You too can get on the gas if you get on the bike. You heard it here first. I am so proud of you, Stu. This is great. And also, I'll have you know, you don't also have to get the padded pants. You can just get on the bike and get on the gas. But if you want to, you can get the padded pants.
I've been constantly adjusting my seat to where it doesn't hurt, and then it started going up my taint a lot, and I had a really sore taint daily, so I'm adjusting for that, and I'm learning how to work on the bike myself, but I've noticed at least that daily biking helps me be able to drink, and I feel like that's a good way to go into life into 2025, so there you go.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm so proud of you for keeping it up. And they do say that, I mean, who's they? Listen to me. But medical experts do say that regular exercise is really great for your mental and your physical health. Yeah. So getting out there, walking, biking, fantastic. And added benefit, couple of bevies and metabolizing that. Great.
I am at the point now where I say, geez, I feel crappy because I haven't gone and done that today. Like I'm doing it 6 days a week, and I've never been the picture of health, but we'll see where it goes.
Great.
Anything new in your world?
Well, I know that we have been following the saga of my geriatric dog, and I do have an update.
Uh-oh.
It's not all doom and gloom, but I do have an appointment after the show today to meet with an in-home end-of-life specialist. She is coming in to meet with me.
I don't mean to laugh at you, but you know how soccer mom that sounds. Mm-hmm. You know how touchy-feely soccer mom that sounds. Just saying.
Exactly. But I'm embracing it wholeheartedly.
Is the idea that they're going to advise you on how to do it and how to deal with your kids? Is that the thing?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we're at a point where we know that we need to make a decision, but I'm not 100% comfortable knowing, is it today? Is it tomorrow? I really do need the help of a medical professional to advise me when to do it and to advise on what's the right way to talk to the kids about it. Should they be present? You know, they say that they want to be, and we want to do it at home. And I want some really practical advice on, it's going to be messy. What
Right.
do I lay down?
You're going to do it with a shotgun? It's going to be messy. Jesus,
Like, what do I lay
sick.
down? How do I prepare the space?
Okay.
All of these sorts of things, because they urinate when they die, all these sorts of things. I want to have this meeting.
When you put a dog down, don't you take it to the vet, though? Don't you have it done there? It sounds like you're having
No.
it done in your home there.
Yes, and we have made the decision as a family that our elderly dog, she is actually frightened now of traveling in the car because she has lost her ability to stand and maintain her balance comfortably. Her legs keep buckling, so she's frightened to go in the car, and she loses control of her bowels, and she's afraid of the vet. And so we don't want her last hours to be traumatic. We'd much prefer that she is relaxed and comfortable at home. She loves visitors, and if she can pass away peacefully and comfortably at home with her people and a visitor, then that we would much prefer that than for her to pass away terrified and traumatized.
That makes sense. That makes much more sense. Yeah. So, all right, you do it that way. The only thing I would be suspicious of, just watch out for, don't think that it's the case, but it would be a really easy scam for somebody like that to come in and say, you know, I just don't feel like she's ready to go yet, or we're going to need to really handle this over time and draw this out, so you keep having to pay for it. I might be wary of that, just saying.
It is a good point. The good news is that the person who we've been referred to is somebody who was recommended by our family veterinarian. I approached our doctor. I said, hey, we're thinking about whether or not we could do it at our house. Do you know someone? She said, actually, yes. I highly recommend this doctor, and she's worked with a number of my patients. Here's her flyer. Check her out.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, coming off of that, and just in general with everything happening in the world, I feel like it's time to learn how to laugh again. If ever I really said that as a human being, you have permission to kill me. Hire a hitman and kill me if I ever said, it's time to learn how to laugh again, because you can always laugh. That's what we're going to do. That saying is like a musician saying, all of my songs are my children. We can laugh, but the best way to laugh right now, do you know the best way to laugh right now, Emily?
What is it?
Listening to Peloton instructors read funny leaderboard names.
Loose cunt.
Huge anus.
So the concept here is people are exercising remotely, and they put these names up hoping that they will get them read in a Peloton session, and the Peloton instructor goes for it. And don't think I don't notice the Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch in the background.
Huge anus.
Hugh.
I'm on to you.
Buster Cherry, happy birthday.
Buster.
Next enormous
But I will say the name, Craven Moorhead.
There you go. Okay, we're going to just stop it right there.
Whoa.
We're going to savor this throughout the show and do a few at a time. Peloton instructors read funny leaderboard names from the internet. That's good stuff right there. And actually, a lot of that I would kind of point to maybe being stolen from The Stern Show. The Stern Show does a lot of that, where they call radio shows and screw with them a lot. And one of my friends was actually on the show. He's a good guy, but wow, they just effed with him mercilessly. There's a show called Tradio where people go on the air and sell their crap, and they went on the air and screwed with him, trying to sell all kinds of outrageous stuff, and it was greatness. And I recognized his voice and knew it was him, but I have no way to catch up with him, and I would love to talk to him about that. Chris Oliveris, if you're out there, let's talk, because God, that's funny. You're world famous now. Update on last week. Remember how CR&R, the trash people, hated old people?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still rotting out the front of your house? Not the old people, the trash.
Yeah, I don't see any old people. No,
Are they under the trash?
They handled it that day. The day I posted the show, they came out, and I got an apology. And I don't want to go into all the details of it, but it is handled now. I just bring this up as an update and a way to point out to you again, the really good way to handle things is to whore out the show for your own personal gain. So always feel free to do that.
The thing that is becoming increasingly clear to me is that the only way to get stuff done here in the United States is to complain.
Yeah. And everybody is still inept. There's more ineptness than you can ever imagine, and it's always going to go the way that you want it to. I had to call Best Buy earlier because I have some Plus account that gives me 60 extra days on returns, and I get bonus discounts. And I used a different phone number, and they said if you call, you can have that consolidated into one account. And there's no way of doing that. And I talked to 8 different people that I couldn't understand in India, and I knew it was going to go that way. So, yeah.
Oh my God. Talking about ineptitude.
Yeah.
We are currently in the market for a Christmas tree. We had the same fake Christmas tree for nearly 15 years. So the whole time we had been together before we had kids and everything, and we held on to that Douglas fir monstrosity. All the lights were just like fucked up. The cats and dogs, it was mangy. It was falling apart, but we loved that thing. And last year it finally just fell over and we had to drag it to the curb. Anyway, we have to get one, and we were tossing up, do we get a real one? Do we get another fake one? We are considering getting another fake Christmas tree. Anyway, we're reading reviews. And let me tell you, this has become absolute comedy central at our dinner table. It is our family comedy for the week, is we are reading the reviews of different people who have purchased these Christmas trees. And when I tell you that it is almost impossible to find anyone who has actually looked at the Christmas tree, the number of people who are like, 1 star, it was stolen off my porch.
Yeah.
3 stars, I haven't opened it yet. I'll open it at Christmas. 3 stars, it looks good. The branches look good. I'll open it at Christmas time. If you haven't opened it, if you haven't looked at it, don't review it. 5 stars, fast shipping. Fuck me. These are not reviews. What is wrong with you people? These are the same dickheads who will review a restaurant and say, couldn't get a park, 1 star.
These are the same people that in a Facebook group, somebody will ask a question, something that they legitimately need help with, and somebody will say, well, why are you asking that question? Don't do that. Just do this. Well, I'm doing this, and I need help doing it, dickhead.
Yeah, exactly. This is wholly unhelpful.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And a lot of those reviews are just total crap anyway, and you can tell they're just so positive and trying to be real, and you see right through them, and they're obviously totally fake, and it's just a thing.
Absolute garbage. One was said 3 stars. It said 3 stars. I'm not going to provide a review yet. I'll review it at Christmas when I open it up.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Do you realize that you have just provided a review?
Yeah. Based on the number of stars that are there that pertain to nothing. It's ridiculous.
I'm broken and I'm dead inside.
Do me a favor, angle the mic away from you a little bit. You're popping. Like angle it so you're more sideways.
Sorry, get it sideways! It's just, I'm so
You're a very
passionate.
animated talker.
I am. I'm so animated.
No, wrong direction.
Wrong direction. Are we talking about Liam Payne? Too soon. Stu, that is terrible. That's disgraceful. That is such a bad joke. I can't believe it. What?
You want to be pushing it away from you a tiny bit, but still stay close to it, but just angle it more sideways. So you're talking across it, not into it.
Into it. I'm probably doing this wrong.
Okay. See how? Okay, here. See mine right here.
No, God.
See this mic? Do yours like this. See how I'm turning it more sideways? No, other way. There you go. Try that. Sideways like that. That's good. Just stay close to it now. That's good. Just stay close to it now. What the hell are you doing?
I don't know. I don't feel good.
Okay. I was going to cut this part out, but now it's so hilarious, I'm going to leave it in.
I'm so tired.
Okay. There you go. There you go. There you go, strong consonant woman. You're a very animated talker. There we go. Okay. So anyway, we also... While we were away, didn't talk about some deaths. First off, Quincy Jones, legendary producer, and one of those people that I'm not always into all the stuff he does, but I completely recognize how great he was. And I realized that I had a friend that used to do stuff with him. I had a friend that worked for MCA in Motown, and he told really cool stories about Quincy when he died, and I saw that, so I wanted to mention it. I'm not sure if Quincy was around when they used to take Stevie Wonder out driving, and that is a thing that actually used to happen. My friend told the story. They would go in the MCA Records parking lot and have Stevie Wonder drive around in a car and kind of try to tell him, no, go left here, Stevie, go right here, Stevie. And then I remembered that there is a Stevie Wonder conspiracy theory. There are people that say that Stevie Wonder is not actually blind.
Blind. I heard that.
That is a whole thing. Shaquille O'Neal says that Stevie Wonder is not actually blind. He said he got into an elevator and Stevie looked at him and said, hey, how's it going, Shaq? And named him by name. So I don't believe him because Shaquille also is a flat earther, but there's a lot of those conspiracy things going around.
It's interesting too. I mean, I don't know where Stevie Wonder is on the visual impairment scale.
Right.
But what I will say is, and as you know, I'm all about sexy blind people. We've talked about this a lot on the show.
I forgot about your kink. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it is a sliding scale of visual impairment, and to be declared legally blind... you don't have to be seeing absolute darkness.
Right.
So someone can say, I'm blind, and technically they are blind, but they might be able to see through a pinhole. They might think things are blurry. It is, like many things, a spectrum and unique to that individual. I don't know what's happening with Stevie Wonder. So
I think we've always assumed, though, and been told that Stevie was legitimately full blind. And now that I think about it, my friend, when he was talking about taking Stevie out driving, never said, hey, Stevie fully can't see, but he wouldn't have to either. So maybe if it comes up, I'll follow up with him. It's just kind of a weird thing to go, hey, we haven't really talked in a long time, but is Stevie Wonder really blind? That's a weird place to come from.
But I mean, considering that your mate was getting in the car while Stevie was driving, I just assume that Stevie could see.
Well, but when you have a few at a party and you decide to go driving, why not? There's an expense account.
Why not? Oh, but I should have clarified. Were they driving at the golf course? Or were they driving in a car? I'm so confused right now.
That's a good question. I believe they were in a car in the MCA Records parking lot, as I understand it.
Was it like in Disney? Was the car on rails? Were they going around in a circle?
That would be a trick. That'd be a new ride. Stevie Wonder's big Matterhorn of fun. Also dead is Teri Garr. I liked her a lot. Young Frankenstein, Tootsie. I remember her as a kid as having to watch Letterman when she was the guest on Letterman because she was just smart and clever and funny enough, and she screwed with him a little bit, and they went back and forth and kind of poked at each other a little bit. Teri Garr, very talented and cool. And if you haven't seen Young Frankenstein, it is a classic that you have to watch, and I just watched it again recently for Halloween, and one of the greatest movies ever, and she's in that, and very attractive as a young woman too. I will say that out there. She's the perfect blend of very attractive and very comedic enough. That is what appeals to me, and also smart and assured. I like that in a woman.
I must admit that I don't know who Teri Garr is. Now, I did look her up and I did investigate, but unaided recall of Teri Garr, drawing a blank.
Have you seen Young Frankenstein?
No.
Oh, my God. You call yourself liking comedy. You need to see Young Frankenstein.
I need
Mel
to.
Brooks classic. It is an absolute classic movie. you should go and watch
Considering
that.
all of the Mel Brooks movies that I've seen, I can't believe I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest ones, and a lot of people avoid it because it's in black and white, but you need to get over that because it's like an old-time parody of Frankenstein. God, it's good. You should watch that. And go on YouTube and just search Letterman, Teri Garr. It's some of the best talk show appearances you will ever see. Just fantastic.
Amazing. I'll check it out.
So got that going on, and then I thought I had discovered the best new TV show ever, and turns out it's good, but it's not the best. Bad Monkey. Found out before the show you've been watching Bad Monkey. Vince Vaughn is a cop that gets caught up in the middle of something. Actress I'd never heard of, really great, Natalie Martinez. And then Meredith Hagner is one of the greatest villains, maybe the greatest villain ever, I thought. Very manipulative and just really evil. What do you think of this Bad Monkey show?
It's great.
Yeah.
Hooked me from the first episode. Vince Vaughn is a great actor, and I'm sure that a lot of listeners know this, but one of the things that I really admire about him and that he's really well known for people who work with him is he never has a bad take, and he does a lot of improv and a lot of his funny lines, a lot of really funny one-liners, and he whips out a lot of them in this particular show, and it's a really good time. Lots of twists and turns. It's never predictable. Sucks you in. It's never predictable, and I really like that. It's a great show. We binged it. We loved it. Highly
the
recommend
writing
it.
feels like, and I don't know if you'll get this reference, I don't know if other people will, but it feels like an Elmore Leonard novel. If you know who Elmore Leonard is, he wrote stuff like other stuff that was made into movies. Jackie Brown was his story. Get Shorty was Elmore Leonard. Out of Sight, the only good Jennifer Lopez movie, was Elmore Leonard. It has that kind of feel with the writing and the cool quippiness, and it's just really great. If you're looking for something, Bad Monkey is great. Also featuring this woman called the Dragon Queen, great actress, Michelle Monaghan. And I know people are wondering who plays the monkey. It turns out Crystal the monkey plays the monkey on Bad Monkey, just so you're aware. Really good job.
Yeah, really good.
And I feel bad because Crystal the monkey is now probably going to be typecast as a monkey. And I just feel like that's not fair. We shouldn't have to deal with that in our society now with everything being equal.
I like how gritty it is and how complex the story is.
You have to pay attention.
You have to pay attention, and how everything is connected. It's really, really interesting. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, like if this had been written 20 years ago, it would probably be a Quentin Tarantino movie is the way I feel about it, because he did a lot of that Elmore Leonard stuff. So it's that kind of thing and really cool. I thought that was the best show ever on TV, but now I have found the other absolute best show on TV ever. The best show really is The Penguin. Have you watched it? Oh, it's so goddamn good. Oh. The Penguin is based on the villain, the Penguin from Batman, but it's not really a superhero show. Batman is not in it at all. And I have one episode left, and it doesn't feel superhero-ish at all. It feels more like Sopranos, but way cooler than any kind of superhero thing. It's not nerdy. It's just badass. And oh my God, it's great. Colin Farrell. You wouldn't know it's Colin Farrell. They should have had a contest and said, okay, here is the Penguin. Here is the Penguin acting. Here is the Penguin acting with that voice. Guess the actor, and you could never, ever guess it. That guy is brutally talented, and there need to be awards for this. I always say award shows don't matter, but for that role, he should get awards. And somebody that I've been talking about forever, probably the best villain chick ever, better than the other villain chick from Bad Monkey even, Kristen Milioti is an unbelievable actress, like Meryl Streep good. Ooh. She plays I forgot the name now, starts with an S, the mob leader woman. Anyway, I've been talking about her forever. She was in a movie called Palm Springs where she played this wild, crazy, funny, crazy woman. And she was good in that. And I said, look out for her. And now she's in this. And she is really ominous on the screen and has this intensity where you go, holy shit, what is she going to do next? And there are so many moments where she does things where you just go, whoa. And I realized as I started talking about this that I need to ease back because you've only seen one episode yet.
Yeah. No spoilers.
Yeah.
No spoilers. But yeah, okay. I'm adding it to the list. I'm definitely going to start watching The Penguin. And do you know what came back this week?
Fargo?
Yellowstone.
I've not gone Yellowstone. Isn't it kind of westernish? I have problems with westerns.
Kind of, definitely.
Yeah.
We are big fans of Western here, but real Western. And we're also big Kevin Costner fans.
I like him. I have a hard time with any Western. Other than Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks, I can't do Westerns usually.
You can't do Westerns?
Yeah, I can.
Really?
I'll try it. I mean,
Interesting.
But it's really good. And is it slow paced? Is it really cowboy stuff? What's going on there?
It's more of a complex family dynasty drama, I would say, that happens to be built around a family ranch. And so the complexity of the business and the land and sustaining the family way of life against big corporations and that kind of stuff. I think we're up to season 5 or 6. Anyway, the first episode was an absolute... it's changing the course of the show forever. Lots of us knew where it was going because Kevin Costner had a big dust up with Taylor Sheridan, who's the producer.
And he made his own movie that failed, and now he's trying to figure out if he's going to put more of his own money into that, and that was a whole thing.
Right. It's all
Just a little key for you. Over here, we call it a dynasty.
Yes.
It fits in Whippy. If we talk to them, we could figure out if they say dynasty, whatever. I like to have the fun. Yeah. Whippa fits in Whippa. Fits in the Tantrums. Wait, no, that's a band. Anyway.
That's a band. Yes.
So this happened, and I'll bring this up. You ever have really entertaining screw-ups in your life?
All the time.
Remember, I'm the one that says, how many days dumb am I? I have one of those. And then I also have a couple news stories that are people being similarly stupid, so I don't seem quite so bad. But oftentimes I have times of, today I am this many days dumb. And that happened the other day. I went to the Apple store.
Yeah.
And got my business done. And as I'm going to get back into my car, I look at the back of my car, where the emblem is and everything is like stamped on the car with the emblem. And the T was missing from the turbo. It had fallen off and it wasn't there. And it just said Urbo. And I looked at it. I'm like, what happened? What happened to my T? I said, was somebody screwing with my car? There's no T. It just says Urbo. I'm really bummed. And I looked and didn't see a T lying around and said, maybe the T fell off when I drove off before. I said, whatever. Then I went to get in the car and it wouldn't unlock. I'm like, oh, Christ. And I'm trying. I can't get in my car. And then I realized it wasn't my car. It was a car that looked exactly like mine. And I said, okay, at least it looks exactly like my car. I could see how I could do that. And I felt a little bit vindicated, a little bit better about the situation. But then there was the problem where I remembered my car is not a turbo.
You fuck off. Are you joking?
I swear to God. My car has never been a turbo. I've never owned a turbo, but I looked at the back of this car that looked like my own, but I said, what happened to the T in my turbo? What the fuck?
Stop it.
I'm being real.
Oh my, are you all right?
I don't know. There's a lot going on in the world, and I take a lot of it on. You know me.
You need a cup of tea and a lie down.
Something, yeah.
You poor sausage.
So a couple other people in the news that screwed up.
Do tell.
Wisconsin dad drunkenly buys 14 tickets to the Alabama football game. They end up going to the show. He takes his family from Wisconsin to the Alabama football game. The problem is he bought tickets to see Alabama the band.
Cool.
And there's videos online of them attending the show for Alabama, the band. And they're arriving and they're getting ready to go into the show. And then they realize they're going to see the band. And then I thought, okay, which one of those scenarios is worse? If I'm really having to go to one of those, which is less torture, having to see Alabama, the band, or having to watch an Alabama football game? I don't know for me which is worse.
I know which is worse for me.
And that would be...
the football match.
Yeah, it's bad, but Alabama the band is not great ever. I did country radio for a year, and I didn't like any of that stuff, really, other than some of the traditional stuff. And Alabama, in my opinion, not a great band. They've been around forever, don't mean to shit on them, but either choice, they're not great for me. It's a real Sophie's choice of Alabama.
I feel like I can, no matter what the music is, I find that I can appreciate the artistry in live music from people who are good musicians, even if the genre isn't my bag. And I find big stadium sporting matches to be a little bit overwhelming. I don't like the noise, and I mostly don't like the people.
Do you respect the musicianship if you determine that the band and or person is lip syncing?
Less, no.
Yeah, me too. And I'm having that struggle right now. There's a big thing whirring around the internet that all of Taylor Swift's shows are completely lip synced, and even her band is on a track, and the whole thing is just a big bunch of bullshit. And I'm struggling with, I really genuinely like her records, but then I think, do I want to support somebody that is doing that and pretending to do a show when they're not really doing the show? And then I wonder how much of what's on the records is really talent, or is it just manipulated producer bullshit?
I wonder. So I think about these things, and I think about the realm of the possible or the probable, right? And I do some math. Imagine that every 2 days you go and you do a live show which requires you to move almost as much as doing a marathon, and you have to do high impact movement because you're dancing and you're supposed to be singing and you're doing all of these different bits and pieces, and you have to maintain a certain level of quality. What is the likelihood, in order to maintain a consistency of performance which is demanded because people pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for these tickets, what's the likelihood that you would allow or leave it up to chance that if you had a sore voice, that you couldn't go ahead, that if there was some level of inconsistency, that if a guitar string broke, that that if you didn't say on time or schedule, there's too many variables. Like, you would want to control the variables. Like, if I was the producer for that show,
Yeah.
I would control the variables because you got to get to the next town. Thoughts?
I understand the thought process, and I have that exact same thing. I think, okay, that's like a 3-hour show, and there's a lot of dancing, and it is big production, and there is so much going on, and that must be very straining and tedious. And I have that thought process, and I try to rationalize it, and then I think, okay, but then if you can't do it, don't do it. As a legitimate artist, if you can't do it, don't do it. Like I say, if you can't sing that on the record, don't fix it with auto-tune. And if you can't do that night after night, don't do that night after night. And that also makes sense in my head because I think, well, really, you're bullshitting people. You're not out and out saying, hey, portions of this show are recordings. You're not doing that at all. You're presenting it as a live show. And it's not even like it's part of it. There's this guy on YouTube that takes a bunch of shows and puts them into this thing where he can compare them precisely. And the entire show, band included, overlaps exactly to the 100th of a second. So it's not like there's even a variable. Like, it is on a track and that track plays and it is dead on. And apparently that's what's been going on. And I have a huge problem with that. And then he analyzes it because there are portions where in addition to that running, they bring her up in it and they have auto-tune fix her vocal over the track. But sometimes you can hear the auto-tune doesn't know what to do and it slightly goes out of pitch. And he's done 4 or 5 videos and really, through science, proved the point of, yeah, seems like she's bullshitting people. And that's a hard place to be. That's like losing an election when you find out that Taylor Swift is Milli Vanilli.
Well, how about this? I do believe that Taylor Swift writes all her own music. She is actually a really good singer. There is plenty of evidence to support that.
Right.
And I also believe that when you're producing stadium shows, there are some realities and some constraints that need to be thought about. But I do believe that if you go to like the Bluebird in Nashville and she's playing on a smaller stage, she's not going to be using backing tracks. It's not going to be that. She's doing a 1-hour set. She's on her acoustic guitar. She's got a small band. That's Taylor Swift all day long. Not a problem there, and you're going to be blown away. So I think that both of these things can be true.
Right.
That's just my position.
No, I think
Thoughts?
that makes sense. And I guess looking at it, I say to myself, well, I would totally expect that of a Britney Spears. I don't expect that of her. And I really have a problem with presenting it as a live show and not making that known. I almost feel like there should be some kind of law or something that says, okay, if you're going to do this, you have to put it out there because people are paying thousands of dollars for these tickets. And you could just go home and listen to the record. And you could say, well, there's all the other part of it and there's the big production of it. Yeah. And it really is huge. It's like a Pink Floyd show. But still, if that's not her singing, I want to know about that if I'm going to the show.
Yeah. I also think that what you value is probably different to other demographics of her fans who are in it for the lights, the performance, the exchanging of friendship bracelets, the camaraderie, and for the chance to wear sparkly boots.
Yeah, but they're wrong.
Yeah, potentially.
I'll just make that blanket statement. The generation of today doesn't care about musical talent and integrity. They just go on their laptop and make a song. That's
right.
bullshit.
I might say also that you're not the target market because I don't think you've ever bought a ticket to a Taylor Swift concert,
That's
even
true.
though you're a fan.
That's true. Point bonked. You got me
Bonked.
there. I would. I would go to see her, though.
I think that you would go to see her. I think that I would also, if I was trying to market to you, you would go and see her in a more intimate setting and you would pay more for it if you knew it was a small band. She was definitely going to play live. It's a different show. It's a different experience. I feel like if I had to design some sort of horror film for you, it would be to be surrounded by screaming nitwits.
Yeah.
And their psychotic mothers, like just...
Yeah, now you're making me tense. Now we're focusing on the negative. I liked the sentence where you used the word intimate and Taylor Swift in the same sentence. That was way better.
That was way better.
So much better than
and then you're like,
screaming
now you're breaking out
children.
a cold sweat thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be locked into a standing room only with lots of people wearing, a disco AIDS glitter.
No.
Terrible.
The other thing in the news where people screwed up, and it's fun, pet tortoise missing for over 2 months, found 100 feet from Oklahoma home. A woman put her 2 tortoises in the backyard and then got caught up on the phone. And when she went back, one of the tortai, I guess plural for tortoise, one of the tortai got away. Apparently it was very fast. The owners say they searched all over, driving around in circles, and after 9 weeks and 4 days, the husband looked out into his field, and there it was about 100 feet away. They had people helping, people of Piedmont, Oklahoma, searching all over for the tortoise, the tortai, and it was right there the entire time. This is the other dumb thing that makes me not feel so bad about not having a turbo car.
I read a really similar story. It's actually horrific. And I think it was like 8 years and it was a tortoise, but the tortoise was found in somebody's attic.
And what was it living on, you have to wonder, right? I guess
Right.
bugs and stuff?
Yeah, I think so. This is a job absolutely for the internet. But yeah, here we go. This is the story. A tortoise was found alive in an attic. I said 8 years. I was so wrong. It was actually 30. Manuela the tortoise went missing from her family's home in Rio de Janeiro while electrical work was being done. The family assumed she had vanished, but didn't think much about her until 30 years later when they were sorting through their grandfather's belongings. They found Manuela in an old wooden speaker box in the attic. How she survived? The family suspects Manuela survived by eating termite larvae and moisture from the young insects. Tortoises can go between 6 months and 3 years without food.
Wow. Well, maybe we could learn something from the tortoise. Maybe as we are coming to an end as a human species, we can look at them and find a way to further ourselves and not die when it all goes to shit. That might be a good way to go.
That's insane. Do you know how long a tortoise can live for?
120 years.
More.
No.
Keep going. 500
years.
Less.
Okay. 200 years.
More.
No. You're making shit up.
255.
It says that there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm skeptical. 250 years?
Yeah, 255-ish.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to get a tortoise and test that theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
My dying
Great.
thing will be me writing a note and going, okay, you were right. The tortoise lives.
It's such an interesting concept, though, right? Imagine doing that. The people who, I see them at the pet store, right? You see those tortoises. By the way, they stink. If you've never seen a tortoise, if you go to a pet store and you see it and it shits, it stinks. It is disgraceful. But can you imagine buying one? Now that I know that they survive for 255 years, you get that and you have to think to yourself, I'm buying this thing and who am I going to bequeath this to for the next 3 generations? You're making a decision not only for you, but for your children's children's children, potentially. Who wants a fucking tortoise?
And really, you're giving them an extra responsibility they probably don't want. So, good for you.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like giving them a genetic disease.
Yeah. All right. It's one of those things that you would think they stink. Like people that have a pet pig, the pet pig people, you would think, okay, great. They're smarter than a dog. We get it. I think they could be lovable, but they've got to stink.
Not as much as you might think.
All right.
Not as bad as cats and tortoises.
Cats are their own thing. We've talked about cats. Anyway, moving on.
As you know, I have many cats, way more than I want to, and they stink. I am full of regrets.
Wicked, the musical, the movie.
Best.
That's happening.
Brilliant.
Have you seen the stage play? It sounds like you have.
100%. I love
Great
it.
stuff.
I saw it on Broadway with the original cast.
Are you going to go
10
see
out
the
of 10.
movie?
Yes.
Have you gone to wicked.com to check out the movie?
I have not.
That's probably a good idea. Here's this news story.
The highly anticipated blockbuster film Wicked is hitting a gigantic marketing oops. The epic musical fantasy film opens next week, but today we're learning there is something wickedly wrong with the packaging for its movie tie-in doll.
I usually stop the audio
code.
when she starts nodding her head and doing face. What do you think might be going on there, Emily, if you had to guess?
I'm so excited about this, Stu, because it's not just about the website, but what it is, it's about the packaging and the QR codes that for the packaging for the dolls is that if you scan the QR codes, instead of going to the promotional site, you go to a porn site, Stu. Which is great for the kids.
Yeah. I love the screw up of this. It's so great and wonderful. And it lends itself to the ineptness that we were talking about. Here's more of the story.
You're gonna be popular.
The film stars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, who channeled their on-screen characters at the LA premiere over the weekend. They also gave a thumbs up to the dolls being marketed in their likeness.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Go look at it at wicked.com.
Look adorable, but look at the packaging. The
Okay.
website listed is wicked.com,
Oh.
which links to a pornographic website. It was supposed to show the film's official website, wickedmovie.com.
Toymaker Mattel is apologizing for a wicked typo. It's a porn website. Mattel blamed the mix-up on an unfortunate error.
The boxes are in stores nationwide. It's destined to be one of the hottest toys this Christmas.
Okay, so now where my brain goes is, do you know anybody that might work at a retail or toy store, Emily?
Yeah, probably. But what's going to happen is there are going to be stickers that are going to be rolled out. They will already be in stores, and these people will be spending nights and weekends applying stickers over that typographical error.
See, it says that they're pulling them off the shelves, and I immediately think that is a huge collector's item. God, I would like 10 of those. If I could buy 10 of those, I would, because in the future, that's going to be like the Bitcoin. In the future, there will be no Bitcoin. There will be Wicked dolls.
There'll be Wicked dolls. Stuff like this happens more than you might think. It happens all the time in commercial packaging. And often what happens is they'll pull it off the shelf. And then the cost to replace the packaging is so high, they'll ship a sticker.
Makes sense.
And they'll just stick it over the top. The sticker will be those ones that has all the cuts in it, so you can't remove it. And they'll just call it good. And it'll be under the Christmas tree.
For anybody listening, if you happen to work at a retail, toy store, or department store that has these, I'm willing to pay double the price. If you can sneak a couple to me, I will pay double the price, and that way I will be like Bitcoin of the future. I will be Doge Stew in the future if we can work this out. I'm very open to it. Here's more on this and this big scrub. Before we get back into this, do you think, you work in marketing and have all that going on, do you think the person responsible for this lost their job?
They should have.
Probably.
This is absolutely inexcusable. Now, before the show started, you know that I'm actually working on a big product launch at the moment.
Yeah.
And we have multiple layers of quality assurance. My team has been working on multiple layers. Every QR code is being tested multiple times. Every URL is being tested multiple times. It has to go through multiple reviews. People are manually typing it in. We are scanning it with our phones. It has to go through, and every time we move it, it gets scanned and tried again. The fact that whoever made this didn't do that, they're getting fired. The agency who did this is getting sued without a doubt.
Interesting.
And they are going to have to pay reparations. Whatever it cost to fix this, they are fucked.
And I'm interpreting here, but I think also what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that as you're working on your own marketing thing, you're not going to use wicked.com.
No.
No, okay.
No.
Okay.
No. The other thing that agency's trying to do right now, and that Mattel or whoever it is, whoever made the toy is trying to do right now, and what wicked.com is doing right now, and I find this really funny. I mean, I am not Nostradamus, but this is what's happening. They are currently locked in a negotiation to the tune of millions of dollars for that URL. So what they'll be trying to do is actually buy wicked.com from that porn site.
Because that porn company is huge.
Sure.
Like, I'm not into porn, but I know the name Wicked somehow. So do you think that they're really going to try to do that after the fact?
Yes. They'll try. They'll fail. But they'll try. They'll try and buy the URL. They'll definitely try and do that. Because think about it. Like, it's a huge production company. It's a toy company. They'll try and do that.
Right.
Is it Disney?
I don't know who that is. Not sure.
Yeah. So they'll try and do that. They'll fail. Then they'll do the sticker thing. Then they're not going to want to pay for it. They're going to sue the agency or whoever did the marketing thing. They're going to have to pay it. Maybe they'll go out of business. whoever is responsible for it's going to lose their job. Much
when you
sadness.
get into these kind of situations, is it generally that they are suing to get back lost revenue and damages, or do they just see this as an opportunity to get a little bit extra because, hey, this thing is there, let's go after it?
Well, one, I would never be in this situation because I have an attention to detail that means I would never fuck up this bad. But generally speaking, when you have contracts, most contracts would hold you accountable for something like this.
Like it allows for litigation if something happens.
Yes, in terms of your liabilities.
All right.
And it would be, it would have to do with reparations for the damages. It wouldn't be to try and it would be reparations for the damages. It wouldn't be just trying to stick it to you. These are real damages. This is not something that they make. This is a real problem.
Right.
Like, I mean, we're joking about it, but this is a real problem that's in conflict with the
It's
brand.
bad because people's kids are potentially going to a porn site, and it's also bad because your marketing message is not getting through.
Exactly. There is another school of thought, which is there's no such thing as bad press.
Right.
However, I would be very cross if it was me.
Would you have a bee in your bonnet?
I would have a bee in my bonnet
there you go.
and sand in my cozies, which is if I had sand in my swimsuit, which is even more uncomfortable than a bee in one's bonnet.
I'll slip an extra shrimp on the barbie for you.
Here's the rest of the story on The Wicked.
I am so excited.
Today, Mattel is apologizing, saying it deeply
Mattel.
regrets the misprint and is taking immediate action to remedy this. Meanwhile, the dolls are being pulled from stores including Target, Walmart, Amazon, Kohl's, and Best Buy.
I do not think this mishap is going to affect the box office in any way. This was a horrible human error. I don't think anyone is, thinking that someone at Mattel did this on purpose.
Is that Fozzie Bear?
He looks exactly like you think he would look. He's this furry guy with a big bow tie, some analyst guy with a weird lisp. Yeah, you can picture him in your mind. He's exactly who you think he is.
That's so funny. And it's a Universal production.
There you
but
go.
It's Mattel and Universal. It's not Disney. Disney would...
Oh, yeah, they would lose
would
their shit
pay to
because
have
that's
people killed.
their
honestly.
Disney name, too. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Total side note, has nothing to do with that story. Of course, they didn't try to do it. It's not going to affect the box office. That movie's going to be huge. Aside from that, do you feel like Ariana Grande is kind of an asshole? I feel she is very Katy Perry. There have been incidents with her in the past just being very self-involved, and she was the one that went into a donut shop saying she hated America and licking donuts and doing lots of weird shit. She did. She was licking donuts. And also, she slighted Elvira recently. That was in the story. There was this thing. Yeah. Elvira was holding some kind of event, and Ariana's family wanted to go. So she gave her like 18 tickets to go. And then she met with them and signed all of her things as Elvira. And then she turned to Ariana and said, hey, could you sign this for me? And Ariana said, yeah, I don't really do that. And it just was kind of cunty about it. And it was this thing that kind of came up. And then she issued an apology that wasn't really an apology. And even without all that, she just strikes me as kind of an asshole.
It's interesting. I don't know much about her. I wouldn't say that I was a fan. I will say that I have tremendous respect for her as a vocalist.
She can sing.
She is an extraordinary vocalist, one of the best of our time. Her and Kelly Clarkson, I will put up there as probably the two best modern female vocalists going for right now. Just my opinion. But the only thing that I know right now that makes me giggle is her ex Pete Davidson, who I actually think is a pretty funny bloke. Did you hear what he said about her in his recent special, Alive from New York?
No, but apparently it's going to be good.
Okay, so Ariana Grande got like Woman of the Year or something in Vogue magazine, and she said some unkind things about him in Vogue. And in his special, he's like, can you imagine if I did that? If I spray painted myself brown and just hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started shitting on my ex, you know, my career would be completely over. Because basically she is saying that she just paints herself brown and, you know, pretends to be a race that she isn't.
She just strikes me as one of those selfish, entitled people, and that's the way she comes off to me. And maybe I'm wrong. She's a very good singer. She cannot enunciate, though. We've done bits on the show where I literally try to listen to her music and understand any of the words, and I don't think it's all her. It's a bunch her, but it's partially me. I cannot understand a word she says, and we would do it right now, but there's copyright issues that are even more of a thing. If I fart the wrong way, YouTube will say copyright strike, and it's a whole thing. So you can't do that anymore. But yeah, she doesn't enunciate well. I think she started mumble rap. I think Ariana Grande was the one to start mumble rap, probably.
Yeah, it started with her.
Yeah.
I'm sure it started before she was even born.
She was starting that, drinking that crink juice, whatever the fuck that is, and then she couldn't enunciate anymore, and then she went and sang, and there it is. She's the one.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I don't know her personally, and I don't know anything about it. I don't want to say anything bad about her because I don't know anything about her, but I think a lot of celebrities are just, they're not on the same planet as us. I'm sure they don't mean to be bad
Well, it's all the
people.
yes
They're
people.
They're out of touch with reality.
Yeah. I'd like to get some yes people. If I could do that, that'd be great. Don't have enough yes people in my life. Now I'm feeling philosophical. How do I get yes people? Oh, yeah, you need a lot of money for that.
Do you really want yes people, though?
No. I want people to be honest with me and tell me if I'm being an asshole. I think about if I had tons of money, would I be an asshole? And I think I'm already at my general asshole level anyway, and I don't think it would change much.
Yeah, that's probably a fair point. I don't think I would change if I had more money. I think I would be nicer if I had more money. I think I'd be able to do more nice things for people.
You'd have more
if I
room
had
to
more
be
money.
nice because you would have less to worry about and could just live life the way you want to. Wouldn't have to worry as much about stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'd have to, I wouldn't get the shits every time I walked to my car and realized that the T was missing off my fucking turbo. I'd be like, I wouldn't worry about it because I could be just like, fuck it, I'll just buy another T.
As I was thinking about telling that story, I'm like, okay, then when I get to the part about how it looked exactly like my car, I'm going to be kind of okay because people have done that, try to get into the car that looks exactly like their car. But then when you throw in the part that I've never had a turbo, I'm just an idiot. And I literally thought to myself, where did my T go? Where's the T in my turbo? I have no T in my turbo. God damn it. Somebody stole my T.
So I like to hang massive amounts of shit on you, okay? But just so you feel better, I have definitely done something similar.
All right.
Once we were leaving a restaurant and I have walked to a car that is the same as our car, exactly the same as our car, same color, same everything, but it had a different license plate. And I started yanking on the door and screaming at my husband to unlock it. And he's unlocking a car that's 2 spots away going, that's not our car. Our car's over here. And I'm like, ugh. And then
How dare they have the same car?
Yeah, exactly. I am very lucky that I didn't set off the alarm. That would have really embarrassed everybody involved. But the way that I was yanking on that door, I was like a hair's width away from... It was, yeah.
Well,
I wanted to get in.
So that you know, I did that too because I hit the thing to boop, open my car and it didn't make a boop sound. And then I pulled the handle and I was like, what the hell? My T's gone and I can't get into my car. God damn it. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. There's a show.
We did it.
Yeah.
High five.
We just did the thing. Word up in the thing. All right. Everybody have a great week.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Watch for you. Dot your T's. There you go.
Cross your eyes. Wicked.com.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Threads. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.